Hello everyone, I am Sri Lakshmi from Commerce and Management Department. Today we are going to discuss about the most important and interesting section in the subject Operational Research, that is transportation problem. So before moving to this section, let me ask you one question. Most of us wish to travel, right? But before traveling, a question arises in our mind, the means of transport. Yes, we have different means of transport, car, bus, bike, or any other means. But all these means of transport results in different cost, distance, time, etc. And based on these factors only, we are selecting the best means of transport for our traveling. So in the same way, in business field, we need to transport the goods that are stored at several origins to different destinations. So that is solved by our transportation problem. So let's move on to the definition first. The objective of this problem is to transport various amounts of commodity that are stored at various origins to different destinations in such a way that the transportation cost is minimum. So it is not only applied for cost minimization but also for time, distance minimization and also for profit maximization. We all know that there is another field in the business, that is profit maximization. There also we can apply this transportation problem. The transportation problem method, as I mentioned, as a means of transport, here also we have three different methods to solve transportation problem, and in each method we will be getting three different answers as a transportation cost. And the methods that we used here is Northwest Corner Rule, in short NWCR. Second method is Least Cost Method, in short LCM. And the third method is VAM, stand for Vogel's Approximation Method. All the three methods result in three different transportation costs, and after doing only we can identify which is the best method, and there our decision arises. We have two different types of transportation problem. The first one is balanced transportation problem. In this, the total of supply will be equal to total of demand. That is, sigma S is equal to sigma D. What does the sigma stand for? It means the summation. Adding all the supply together, we will be getting the same value as the total of demand. That is balanced transportation problem. The second case is unbalanced transportation problem. Here, the total of supply may not be equal to total of demand. Supply can be greater than demand or demand can be greater than supply. In such situations, we must add an additional row or column with zero entries to make it as a balanced one. We cannot do an unbalanced problem. First, you have to convert the given problem to a balanced one. For that purpose, we must add the dummy row or column wherever it is necessary with zero entries. So we are moving to the first method known as Northwest Corner Rule. You can see from the figure, I have already shown the northwest direction, right? As the name indicates, it stands for Northwest Direction Rule. So northwest corner I have shown there in the figures. A circle have been shown as a corner element there. No need to worry about the direction and all. You simply select the first element. Always it will be the first element in the given matrix. The first row, first column element will be your northwest corner element. So no need to worry about the direction and all. Select the first element in the given matrix. So here is the format of the question. In all the three methods, you can see the same method. You can see the problem in a given matrix form with rows and columns arranged. You can see O1, O2, O3, O4 as rows and D1, D2, D3 as columns. Actually, this meant for the transportation of goods from origin to destination. It takes sometimes a cost, a distance or time. See, the O1, D1 value is what? 2. 2 means it can be a distance, a 2 kilometer, or it can be a time, 2 hours, or it can be a cost. So the time to take that particular transport or that particular goods to transport from O1 to D1 is 2. Same way, O1 to D2, it may take 7 hours. That is mentioned in the cell O1 D2. The same way we have repeated for all the origin to destination, the value have been represented. Clear? And apart from this origin and destination, a supply and demand, an additional row and column is also added in the matrix. And the supply meant for that, for example, O1, in the first row O1, they can supply only 5 number, they cannot go for more than that. Same way O2 can supply only 8 in amount. They cannot go for more than 8. The same way for demand, first column D1, they have only 7 in demand. They cannot demand for more than 7. Same way D2 can demand only up to 9. Not more than that. So this O1 and D1, instead of O1 and D1, you can replace as factory to warehouse or factory to customers, anything like that also. It's not only O1 and D1, it can be factory to warehouse. We can transport the goods, right? So factory to warehouse or factory to customers, the notation will be FW, etc. So your first step is, you have to check whether it is a balanced or unbalanced problem. For that, what you have to do, you must add the supply and demand. So here you have to add all the supply values first. That is, total of supply S, sigma S is equal to 5 plus 8 plus 7 plus 14. What is the result? It is 34. The same way, add all the demand values, sigma D, that is 7 plus 9 plus 18, again it is a 34. Now you can do the next step. If it is not balanced, suppose if you have a shortage in demand, you must add one additional column with 0 entries, and whatever the amount is shortage, that you have to represent as a new column. The same way, if your supply is less than demand, you must add an additional row. After O4, one more row arises, O5, with that shortage with 0 entries. In this way, you have to make it as a balanced, and you have to proceed the same step as we are proceeding in the balanced problem. Moving to the step 2, you have to allocate as per the rule, northwest corner rule. I always mentioned the first row, first column element is the northwest corner rule. So, which is our first cell? It is 2. O1 D1 is 2. You have to compare the supply and demand. What comes in supply column? It is 5, and in demand column it is 7. So you just compare that supply and demand. Which is the smallest? Yes, 5 is the smallest. So you have to allocate that 5 to particular cell 2. And what you have to do there is, that entire row has a supply only up to 5. So already that 5 has taken by that 2. So no more value can be taken for that particular row. So what you have to do, you simply strike out that particular row after allocating that 5 and subtract it from the demand that you have compared. Is it clear? That means the smallest among supply and demand have to be allocated in that particular cell. You have to cross off that particular row or column which you have been allocated and subtract it from the other one, that is demand or supply, that you have compared. The balance amount have to be mentioned there. Okay, it's clear from the slide. In each step, I have represented the calculations. After that, in the second step, you can see one row is missing because we have cancelled one row, no? So we have only the rows from O2, O3, O4, and the demands column D1, D2, D3. We got a reduced matrix. There also you can simply check whether you have made the correct calculation. You can just add the values of supply and demand. There also it will be balanced. Because you have made the correct calculations, you have cancelled the row, you have crossed out the demand column, everything like that. So in the reduced matrix, what is our first element coming? Yes, the 1 month row, that is the first row, first column element. Here it is 3, that you can see in step 3. In 3 also, just compare the supply and demand. The supply is 8 and demand is 2. Yes, among the supply and demand, which is the least? 2 is the least. So cross off the demand column, that is 2 have to be cancelled after allocating that 2 to the particular cell and subtract it from the one that you have compared. You have compared with supply 8. So subtract it from 2 because they have already taken 2. Now balance is what? 6 have to be written there. Okay. The same procedure is repeated for every step. Next, one column has also been missed. We have only 2 columns, D2 and D3. O2, O3, O4 rows are present now. Which is our first element? 3 is the first element. What about the supply and demand there? It is 6 and 9. So which is the smallest? 6 is the smallest. Allocate 6 to the cell 3 and cross off that particular row and subtract it from the demand that you compared. That is 9 is present at before. Subtract the 6 from that 9, you will be getting what? 3. Then comes step 5. Again, which is our first element? 4 is the first element. That is at O3, D2. The the supply and demand is compared. It is 3 and 7. 3 you have to allocate and cross off the demand column and subtract it from the supply. That is 7 minus 3, it is 4. Then the step 6, again we have reduced the matrix into one column and 2 rows. The first element is 7. Compare the supply and demand. Yes, it is 4 and 18. Which is smallest? The 4 is the smallest. So allocate that 4 to that particular cell, cross off that particular row and subtract it from the demand that you have compared. It is 14 now. Now moving to the last step of northwest corner rule, you can see only one element left. That is only one row and one column. But what happened to its supply and demand? It is same. See, in supply also it is 14 and demand also it is 14. So what you have to do, you have to allocate that 14 to that particular cell and crossing both row and column. So this is your final stage that you can conclude, or you can finalize that you have made the correct calculations, because if you haven't made the correct calculations, if you have missed any subtraction, you may not the correct supply and demand as equal one. Last step, you have to rewrite the question once again, and whatever allocations that you made in each step, that you have to show in this last step in the question that have been given to you. And here also you can just cross check whether you have made the correct allocations. You simply add the allocated values. See, in the first row O1 you have only one allocation, that is 5, which is same as that of the supply row, correct? In second row you have two allocation, one is 2 and the second one is 6. Simply add 2 plus 6, 8, which comes in the supply column, isn't it? Third, it is 3 and 4. By adding 3 and 4, the allocated value is what? 7. That is in the supply column. The same way, consider the column wise also. 5 plus 2, yes, 7 is your demand. Second column, 6 plus 3, 9. So in this way also you can cross check your allocations. You have made the correct allocations there. Finally, what is our ultimate aim? You must find the transportation cost. How will you calculate the transportation cost? You add the product of the allocated value and cost in that particular cell. That is 5 into 2 plus 2 into 3 plus 6 into 3 plus 3 into 4. The same way, continue with all the allocated value and the cost in that particular cell. And what is your answer in northwest corner rule? It is 102 rupees. Clear? Okay. So we shall move on to the next method, that is least cost method, LCM. Here also the step 1 is what? Checking whether it is balanced or not. As we have taken the same question, it's understood, no? The total of supply is equal to total of demand. Now, as per the name, least cost, northwest means as per the direction, that is northwest corner, always it will be the first element. Here it stands for what? Least cost method. That means the smallest element in the matrix. Smallest element, see, you can see the smallest element here as well. 1 is the smallest element, but 1 you can see at two different places, where it is at O2D3 and at O4D1. Okay, at O2D3, again we are proceeding with the same steps that we followed in northwest corner rule. That is, we are comparing the supply and demand and all. So at O2D3, if you are choosing that particular one, you have the supply 8 and 18. We will be allocating 8 for that particular one. Let's consider the next one at O4D1. If we are allocating that particular one, demand 7 and supply 14. There we will be allocating what? 7. So 1 with 7 or 1 with 8 is the least? Yes, 1 with 7 is the least, isn't it? So we will be selecting O4D1 as the least cost. Okay. So I just allocated 7 to that O4D1 cell, and in step 2 I cancel off that particular column. As already I explained in northwest corner rule, we have compared, we have given the smallest element to that particular cell, subtracted it from the one we have compared. After the reduced matrix, we can see the smallest as what? 1 at O2D3. There also we compare the supply and demand, 8 and 18. 8 is the smallest, we allocated that 8 and crossed off that particular row and subtracted it from the demand column. 18 became 10. In between, if you want, you can just add the total of supply and demand to check whether it is balanced or not. Okay. So in this case, while adding the supply, actually at the beginning it was 34. After reducing, we got the supply total as what? 5 plus 7 plus 7, it is 19, and demand 9 plus 10, again it is 19. So it is balanced in between also. Now in step 4, again we have reduced the matrix into 2 columns and 3 rows. Here the smallest element is 2, that comes under O4D3. At O4D3 for the 2 we have the supply 7 and demand 10. Allocate 7 to that particular cell and cross off that particular row and subtract it from the demand that you have compared. In step 5 you can go by 2 matrix, that is only 2 rows and 2 columns present, but there is also a problem because you can see the least element at 2 different places. 4 is your least element, but 4 is coming under O1D3 and O3D2. And which 4 you are going to select? You just compare the supply and demand. Yes, if it is at O1D3, the 4 will be having the supply 5. Demand as 3. So definitely 3 will be allocated there. If we are choosing the other 4, it will be having the 7 and 9 as supply and demand. So we will be allocating 7. So 4 with 7 or 4 with 3 is the least. Yes, 4 with 3 is the least. So we will be selecting O1D3 value 4. So we will be allocating that 3 and subtracting that particular demand column and subtracting it from the supply that you have compared. To the step 6, there you can see 1 column and 2 rows. 4 is the least element again. It comes under O3D2. Allocate that 7 to that particular cell. Cross off that row and subtract it from the demand that you have compared. Now the last case. This is the same as that you got in northwest corner rule also, because you are getting only 1 element in that cell with 1 row and 1 column with same demand and same supply. What you have to do? You have to allocate, you have to assign that particular amount, whatever you see in the supply and demand, allocate that particular amount and cross off both rows and columns. Now the last step is the same as that of northwest corner rule. Rewrite the question again and mark the allocations what you have made in each step and find the transportation cost by taking the product of allocated value and cost and take the sum. What will be getting? It is 83 now. See, you just compare the northwest corner rule and LCM. There you got the same, for the same problem you got the value transportation cost as 102 rupees for northwest. Here the same problem we have only 83. So which is better? Yes, least cost is better, but still we have one more method, that is VAM, Vogel's approximation method. Here also we are doing the same step as we followed in northwest and LCM, that is checking whether it is balanced or not. Yes, because we have taken the same question, it is balanced. Total of supply and total of demand is equal to 34. Next, what you have to do in this method is you must add an additional row and column with name penalty. Penalty means subtracting the smallest 2 from each row and column. Okay, see in this example, in first row, the smallest 2 elements are 2 and 4. No need to take the negative values. 4 minus 2, it is 2 is your penalty. I just highlighted in red color. Okay, so it will be easier for you to differentiate from supply and penalty. Okay, the same way, second row, the smallest 2 elements are 3 and 1. When you subtract, it is 2. If suppose your smallest 2 elements are 3 and 3, what will be getting? It is 0. Okay. If 0 is one of your smallest element, then 3 minus 0, what is the result? Yes, it is 3. In third row, which is the smallest 2 elements? Yes, it is 5 and 4. So the penalty is 1. In the same way, fourth row, the penalty is 1. The same thing is repeated for column wise also. In first column, the smallest 2 elements are 2 and 1. And when you subtract 2 and 1, it is 1. Second column, it is 4 and 3 is the smallest 2 element, it is 1. And in the third column, the penalty is 1. Next, what you have to do here is select the highest penalty. That means we have 7 penalties now together. Rows and columns, we have 7 penalties. Among these penalties, select the highest. Which is the highest? Yes, 2 is the highest, but it's coming under 2 places. In the first row, we are applying the least cost method now. If we are selecting the first row, which is the least over there? Yes, the elements present in first row is 2, 7 and 4. The least element is 2. There also you have to compare the supply and demand. For 2, it is 5 and 7. So which one you have to allocate? Yes, 5 is the smallest. Allocate that particular element to 2. But if you are selecting the second row, because there also you have the highest penalty too, right? So if you are selecting the second row, which is the least element present in second row, it is 3, 3, 1. The smallest is 1. So if you are allocating 1 for 8 and 18, which is the smallest? 8 is the smallest. So 2 with 5 or 1 with 8, which is the best one? Yes, 5 is the smallest. So select the first row. Okay, so select that first row which having the highest penalty and allocate the supply demand shortest and exhaust that row. That means there is no more that row present because already that has been taken by the 2, and cross off that particular row and subtract it from the demand that you have compared. Okay. In step 3, in the reduced matrix, again you have to calculate the new penalties. Okay. So what is our new penalties? It is 2, 1, 1 in row wise, and in column wise also it is 2, 1, 1. So again you have to select the highest penalties among the 6. Which is the highest penalty? 2 is the highest, and 2 is coming under 2 places, where it is one at the first row and at the first column. Again apply the least cost method. If we are selecting the first row, the smallest element is 1, and there we are allocating 8. And if we are selecting the first column, the smallest is what? 1 is the least, and there the supply and demand is what? 2 and 14, and we will be allocating what? 2. So 1 with 8 or 1 with 2, which is the least one? Yes, 1 with 2. So select that particular column. So cross off that particular column and subtract it from the supply that you have compared. Again, step 4, for the reduced matrix, again you have to calculate the penalties. You got 5 penalties, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1. There is no choice, 4 is the highest penalty and 4 comes in the third row. In the third row, which is the smallest? 2 is the smallest. For 2, we have supply 12 and demand as 18. So that 12 is allocated and cross off that particular row and subtract it from the demand. Demand became 6. Okay. Now in step 5, it is a 2 by 2 matrix. The penalty that you have calculated is 2, 3 in row wise, and column wise it is 1 and 6. Which is the highest? 6 is the highest. So select that D3 column, and which is least over that D3 column? 1, 7. Which is least? 1 is least. So allocate supply or demand. Supply you have 8 and demand 6. So you have to allocate the demand 6 there. That is, supply became 2 now. In step 6, we have only 1 column left and 2 rows. So in penalty, we know that penalty is calculated by subtracting 2 from each row. But in the first row, we have only 1 element left. So what you have to do here? You simply copy that particular cell number. That is 3 you have to copy as the penalty. Because there is no 2 numbers to subtract over there. So you just copy the whatever number you can see in 1 column. So simply copy that 3 and 4 as a penalty for each row. But in column wise, you have 2. So subtract 4 and 3. What is your penalty? It is 1. So in this 3 penalties, 3, 4 and 1, which is the highest? 4 is the highest, and the least cost coming, only 1 element is left over there. So for that particular element, allocate the supply and demand, which is the least? 7 is the least. Allocate that 7. Now to the last steps, you can see only 1 element left, only 1 row and 1 column. There the penalty will be the same element as you can see in the cell. What it is? It is 3. So penalty row wise and column wise is also 3, and the supply and demand is also the same that you got in the previous 2 methods. There also you have got the same step. No, at the end you will be having same supply and demand. So here also allocate that particular amount and cross off both row wise as well as column wise. Clear? Then in final step, what you have to do? Rewrite the question, make all the reallocations that you have done in each step, and finally find the transportation cost as that you did in the previous 2 methods. What is your cost here? Yes, 76. Okay. So in northwest corner rule we got 102 rupees. LCM you got it as 83 rupees, and in VAM it is 76 rupees. So which is best one for among these 3 methods? Which is the cheapest? Yes, VAM is cheapest for this particular problem. Okay, in another problem maybe least cost will be the best method, that we cannot predict which is the best method. You have to do all the 3 methods and finalize, or you have to make the decision that this method is the best one. Okay, so hope All the three methods are clear to you. Thank you for watching my session. Have a nice day. Thank you.